I hate to say it, but the buy low window might be closing on a lot of players. In fact, every player, because your trade deadlines for your fantasy leagues are probably not too far off. Go ahead and check and make sure you know exactly what it is. So let's get some more buy low options out there, and we've got to go big this time because this could be your last chance. You want a potential superstar player you might be able to get at least a slight discount. Well, one of my bold predictions for the second half is that the Padres actually figured out and realized that if you want to win in the playoffs, you got to make the playoffs, and then you've got to actually score runs to do that. Okay, so one of the more, I guess, disappointing players has been Fernando Tatis Jr. Disappointing that we thought he was going to be an absolute stud this year, and he looked like it early in the season. And then, just like most of the rest of this offense, has been pretty quiet lately. The batting average hasn't been bad, and he's still been stealing bases, but seriously, like no power. Not only does Tatis have just one homer in the month of July, he has one homer over the past month of play. Now, his expected batting average is much higher, as I had mentioned before. The power is there. I just don't know what has gone on with him and Merrill and all these players. But, anyways, I think he's got to get better. The Padres will get better. And again, with a guy like this, if it clicks, he's going to be one of the best players in all of fantasy. If you can get him for anything less than another superstar player on your team, then yeah, go ahead and try to do it right now. And it's not like he's hot out the gate in the second half either. After the All-Star break, where sometimes things click for players or teams. No, he's 2 for 15 so far, and so this might maybe give some contenders who are looking for a little bit more, maybe give them a chance to consider flipping him. Another thing I like to do is take a chance on a rookie with tremendous ceiling and upside. I talked about Jack Caglione. I've already been telling you to buy low on him for about 2 weeks now. All right, well, let's do the same thing for Roman Anthony. And you think, well, why would somebody sell number one prospect in baseball, Roman Anthony? Because he's just been okay. Since getting called up, 2 homers, 2 steals, and we're talking about an average in like the 250s. This is after 146 plate appearances. But there are signs. He's been better in July, hitting well over 300 for the month and getting more comfortable. Plate discipline has been solid. It's quietly improving. The rolling xwOBA slowly getting better, but he has been bumped up in the order. He's batting second now, and so he is scoring runs. And I just feel like the gradual improvement is there. He's not the type of player like Cags who could just binge on homers. I mean, he's got the power. We know this. He's got everything, but he's not necessarily a power hitter. But that could come along too. It's all in there. It's not a guarantee that he's going to be one of the best players in fantasy for the second half, but there's the potential. You got somebody who is impatient or just wants something a little more predictable, offer a solid but boring player like a Brandon Nimmo and see if that gets you Anthony. And it's always worth checking if you can buy low on a ace or a near ace coming off a bad game. Look, sometimes it just takes one start. Honestly, people overreact all the time, and people might doubt whether it's legit. Mackenzie Gore has had an amazing first half, and then his last start was amazingly bad. Facing his former team, the Padres, give up 8 earned runs in just 2 1/3 innings. Not only by far his worst start of the season, it's only the second time all year that he's allowed more than 4 runs in a game. And yet, despite that, I have zero concerns here. Guy's still tied for second in the National League with 140 strikeouts. And if anything, I'm not worried about negative regression. He should actually be doing better here. His ERA is very solid, 3.59. His Sierra is even lower at 3.27. And this was just one bad game. Every pitcher has this happen once in a while. It's actually pretty impressive that he hasn't had this happen more often this season. And you might see rumors start to swirl because the Nats clearly should be sellers. But Mackenzie Gore still under team control. Those young players there's no reason for them to break this up. He's not going anywhere. Same situation, same everything. Gore will be fine. If somebody's panicked after one bad start, swoop it. Now for Kodai Senga, it's actually been 2 straight, let's say, disappointing starts. The first one wasn't bad because he didn't give a run, but he only lasted 4 innings. And then this last time out, give up 4 earned runs in only 3 innings against the Angels. Senga, of course, missed a month of action on the IL. And before that, I mean, he had been just cruising against pretty much everybody he faced. One of the lowest ERAs in the majors. I mean, he was one of the best pitchers flat out in baseball till unfortunate timing and got hurt. It's understandable that coming back, he wouldn't have necessarily a long extended outing, but this last time, just not sure what happened here. Now you got to wonder, is regression hitting him? Because there's no way he could have sustained that low of an ERA, but especially if you look at his Sierra, 4.17. So now it's fair to wonder, is there more to come? Is it going to get worse before it gets better? It absolutely could, and I'm not saying that he's just going to cruise from here on out after he's got these two starts, out of the way. So here's what I'm going to say with Senga. I mean, of course, he's still going to be an excellent pitcher when healthy, and I think all things considered, even though this last start wasn't great, it didn't seem like anything is physically bothering him. So he'll probably stretch out, go a little bit longer each time, and get a little bit better. Maybe wait one more start and assume he isn't just flat out dominant, and maybe that buy low window is still there. But even so, if someone is panicked here, you always want to take advantage. And this last one might surprise you a little bit. Kenley Jansen. Yeah, if you need a closer, I mean, of course, you want to speculate on trades and try to pick up some of these backups that might become closers, and we'll see what happens in the coming days. But, not all of these guys who are veteran closers on non contending teams are going to get traded, and the Angels themselves as usual, don't exactly know what they're doing. And sure, they still have a shot to make a wild card, and they may or may not trade anybody that is a logical rental piece for a contender, and that includes Jansen, but there hasn't been a strong indication that they definitely are. I mean, he just might wind up being the closer for the Angels the rest of the season. He's got 17 saves so far. He might pick up another 15 or so the rest of the way. And so if someone is like just wanting to get rid of him, say, hey, this guy's gonna be worthless in a couple of weeks. I mean, sure, get him on the cheap, and that is a much safer option than try to add somebody off the waiver wire who's going to become a closer for the very first time. And keep in mind, as the title suggests, this is still buy low. Going to get a big discount on these players. If not, just don't do it. I hope you guys are getting busier in the trade market than these MLB teams have been so far. Also, make sure you're still looking ahead, stashing prospects. You want to know who I named on Beat the Breakout for this week? It's right here.